Hi, I'm Bree with Enlightened Healthcare Guru. I'm a licensed health insurance agent, and I've been getting a lot of questions from people all over the country. People that have questions because they've recently become unemployed and lost their health insurance and just want to know what options are on the table for them. Also from people who do have health insurance but aren't 100% sure that their plan is going to have the appropriate amount of benefits for something as expensive like COVID-19 treatment. And then the third is really from people that haven't had health insurance in a while, maybe years, and just want to know what their options are too. So I'm going to make sure that I go over all of that with you. So let's dive in. So let me start by getting you up to speed on the research I've been doing on COVID-19 treatment costs for those that have health insurance versus those that don't have health insurance. On March 18th, Congress passed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which covers testing going forward. This is great. So whether you're insured or uninsured, you're not going to have to pay that testing cost, which was over about $1,000, averaging about $1,000 to do. So you'll be able to get that for free. But what they did not address is treatment costs. If you are tested positive for COVID-19, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you have a health insurance plan in place before you go for that test. Otherwise, you can end up owing a lot of money. For instance, there was a woman in Boston that ended up owing $40,000 in COVID-19 treatment. She was uninsured. She was treated it was very standard. There was no ICU treatment. There was no complications, and she was uninsured. So she ended up, she has a $40,000 bill. So I've left that New York Times article below in the description if you want to take a look at that. So to avoid having really high costs, you're going to want to make sure that you are on not only just an insurance plan, but a comprehensive or major medical plan. And those usually fall under the category most employer plans are, public marketplace plans are, that's the ACA and Obamacare plans, as well as select private plans like Cigna, PPO, Medicaid also, and Medicare. Pretty safe if you're under those. It just depends on the plan, how much you're going to be out of pocket, but at least those plans do have a max out of pocket so that you're not going to be stuck with $40,000 bills in a best case scenario. All right, so let's take a look if you're one of those that have unfortunately lost their health insurance coverage due to unemployment and you're not offered COBRA. There are a few options for you. The first is a public marketplace plan, and those are your ACA or Obamacare plans, and they price based off of income, which can be very tricky because it's based off of your gross annual adjusted income for the year for 2020, so you have to predict how much you're going to make this year. They may give you lower pricing based on how much you expect to make, but in report a higher gross annual income at the end of the year, they're going to come back and charge you. So I've seen that happen a lot, especially with people that are self-employed and small business owners. It's hard to predict what your income is going to be. Or with COVID-19, nobody really knows when they're going to go back to work. So you can do that though. That is an option. The other option would be state Medicaid. It's really dependent on what state you live in. The criteria is listed on each government website in the state that you live in. It's also usually income-based, but there's other criteria that goes into it as well. So I would just suggest Googling, do I qualify for Medicaid in Tennessee or Florida, or just insert whatever state that you're in, and the government website will pop up and it will have all of the qualifications. And just make sure you are on a .gov website, as sometimes those search results show other websites as well. The third option is private marketplace plans, and these are available in most states. And they usually give very competitive pricing based on your health. So if you're a pretty healthy individual, I highly recommend these plans because you're gonna get the healthy preferred rate. If you're not healthy though, you have some pre-existing conditions, there might still be some private options available to you. You do have to go through an agent like myself who's independently contracted in order to find out what plans exist in your state in the private marketplace, and pricing varies. They're also very customizable. Now, one other option that you might have is COBRA. Some workplaces do offer COBRA, and if you're wondering what COBRA is, it is not this, but maybe it's got its name because it does have some bites to it. COBRA is a federal law that may allow you to temporarily keep health coverage after your unemployment ends, or you lose coverage as a dependent of the covered employee. So a pro of having COBRA is that you get to keep your exact same plan that you had while working for your employer. But a con is that they are going to be typically much more expensive. That's the bite. You're now responsible for paying the entire monthly premium, whereas before your employer was maybe paying at least 50%. So if monthly your health insurance while employed was $400 a month, while receiving COBRA might go up to $800 a month because now your employer isn't contributing anything towards your plan. If you are offered COBRA, you still have all of the other options that we talked about available to you. The public marketplace plans, you can maybe look into Medicaid and private marketplace plans. Now, if you fall under the category of having health insurance, but you wanna just be 100% sure that you have benefits that if something major happens, you're not going to end up owing a lot of money, like for something like COVID-19 and those expensive treatments, or you're just looking for something that maybe costs a little bit less per month, but obviously still gives you good benefits, but just might be a better value. My advice would be to contact me, send me the name of the carrier that you're on, and I can let you know whether it's one of those short-term limited benefits plans or Christian ministry plans, because those are not the plans you want to be on. You want to make sure that your plan is a major medical plan or labeled as a comprehensive medical plan. And if you're not sure, like I said, just message me and I have no problem letting you know what type of plan it is that you have. And then as far as finding maybe a better value plan, you're probably, if anything, going to find that in the private health insurance market if you're healthy. If you're a healthy preferred, those typically always give the best rates. So feel free to message me and we can go from there. So if you fall under the category of being uninsured for 60 or more days, whether it be 61 days or 20 years, you're going to have very similar options to everyone else. But we are going to have to take the public marketplace plans off the table because we're not in open enrollment, which in most states is November and December. That's where anyone can sign up for an ACA or Obamacare plan. The only reason why those that are unemployed or recently became unemployed are able to access these plans is because that's a life qualifying event. So if you haven't had a life qualifying event, then you cannot apply for an ACA or Obamacare plan. You can look still into your state Medicaid plans, or you can definitely look into private marketplace plans. One last topic that I wanted to discuss is mental health during this time. Suicide rates are expected to increase according to Psychology Today since COVID-19. Sadly, I live in Tennessee, and in Knoxville, Tennessee, there were 9 suicides in 48 hours, and that breaks my heart. I wanted to provide you with a couple of things or a couple of ways to stay happy. So Yale is offering their free happiness course. I started working on that, and it's a great course and it's a good use of time. It's productive and very educational and informative. Meditation is another fantastic way to feel connected and to feel more grounded. So every Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a live guided meditation to help those that have some anxiety right now. And just want to feel a little bit more grounded in these unsettling times. I'll also be posting some YouTube videos on specific meditations and some tips that I've learned along the way. I'd love to share my practices with you. I know it can be hard as a beginner. It can be hard just being in the time that we're in to sit there with your thoughts. It's incredibly hard, but it's also very rewarding. And then last but not least, I know that we are isolated, but it doesn't mean that we have to live in isolation, if you get what I mean. There's the Zoom app, there's House Party, so make sure you're calling your parents and make sure you're calling your friends, maybe especially your introverted friends. I'm sure they'd really appreciate hearing from you. Every Thursday, my family and I sit down and have a drink and we all catch up and have some laughs. It's usually the best part of my week. I hope that you're able to connect with people through either meditation or through Zoom or House Party app, and you can stay happy and healthy. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.